everyone, welcome to another tutorial from 3D Redbox channel. My name is Mehdi and today I'm going to talk about how to remove seams from textures inside Painter and Sampler in two different methods. And before jumping to the video itself, let me introduce the course that we have for Substance Painter from 0 to hero level. Learning Substance Painter is easier than ever. Hey all substance lovers, texture seekers, and awesome future artists. Welcome to Ultimate Course for Learning Substance Painter from 0 to hero. Ready to learn how to texture with different projects? Substance Master released a brand new course for those who want to learn to texture with Substance Painter. In this course, we cover from preparing the model to rendering different projects, different challenges. If you want to level up your skill in texturing, come and check the Substance Master Ultimate course for learning Substance Painter. Okay, first, let's talk about a small brief on what we are going to do and what is the problem, okay? So, first of all, I have this picture, okay? And I turn this picture to the PBR material. You can do it in different way, but here I just use Substance Sampler. Okay, so this is the texture set that I create from this image. As you can see, we have 5 different texture from this single image. And after that, as you can see, we have this material on a plane and a sphere. And here I just want to demonstrate this problem. Okay, so we have seams problem here, as you can see. So this is a big problem because the main source wasn't seamless, okay? And I found this problem after turning this image to the material. So how we can improve this situation and remove these seams from the texture? Let me show the seams on the sphere too. Okay, that's great. So the first method is going Substance Painter and use a manual way, which is old school method for making textures or images seamless. And as you can see, this is the result, and we don't have any kind of seams on the textures, okay? And we can use Photoshop here instead of Substance Painter, but the most important thing is we are working on different channel. It means I should do the same thing on at least 4 or 5 texture at the same time. Okay, so Painter can give us this opportunity or power to work on all those channels at the same time. Okay, so this is the result from the first method, which is old school and manual way. And in this method, the accuracy is our top priority. And the second method is something like this. So as you can see, we just lose some of the details, some of the shapes, but we have no seam on the surface, okay? And we can see that in the sphere too. But honestly, this is the fast way, and we can do it and make our texture without seam in less than 30 seconds or 1 minute. But in general, we should use this kind of technique when we don't want to have so much accuracy. Okay, so as you can see, we have some weird shaping on the stone, and some of the plates still need to clean up, but in general this situation is so much better compared to this one. Okay, so let's deep dive and find out how we can remove seams from texture in Substance Painter and the Substance Sampler. Okay, so let's go for the first one, Substance Sampler. Okay, now we are in Substance Sampler, so let's go and press on new project. And in here, in Quick Start, I will go to the material and choose import texture. So I'm going to import all the texture that I have, which is normal, roughness, ambient, base color, and height, and just press create. Okay, and as you can see, we have the seam issue here in an obvious way. And for solving this issue, we just need to go to the add layer, search about tile, and choose make it tile filter. Okay, and boom, the problem is solved. Okay, that's great. So what are the options here that we can tweak to adjust the result? First of all, we are in a full material mode. It means we need to take care of the roughness, normal, height, ambient occlusion, and the base color at the same time. So if you see everything is clear in the base color, it doesn't mean For example, in the height channel, there is no problem, or in the normal, we don't have any kind of problem. So for this purpose, let's go to the 2D. And as you can see, in the base color, we don't have any issue. In the normal, we don't have any kind of specific issue. Okay, that's great. In the roughness, we don't have any issue. But in the height, as you can see, we have a weird effect. So if I turn off this make it tile, this is the real height map that we create from the image at first step. But when I turn this make it tile, I have some weird effect on the height. So let's go to the properties. And as you can see, we have this height matching. So let's change it, for example, to the maximum and to the none. So I think the best thing is none, as you can see. Okay, that's great. So let's go back to the 3D view and we can see everything is okay right now, but we can play with this threshold. So if we go and play with this threshold, we can control the blending amount on the edge. Okay, it means if you turn it to the 0, you have this seam. Okay, so let's bring it up, and if we put it on 1, we have the seam on a default position. So we should play with this threshold to a value that we fix the seam, and this is the important part. We don't mess up with the rest of the shape, form, and anything else on the texture. So for example, maybe on your texture, this value is the best one because you remove the seam and you keep all the shape in the right way. But right now, the default value here is okay for me. So let's go for the smoothness. So with this smoothness, we just create a blur effect on the blending edge and we can make everything more natural. Okay, that's great. And the next parameter is contrast. So if I decrease the contrast, you can see the blur on the blending edge. Okay, sometimes it can help to prevent any sharp effect on the blending area. So we can use this value. For example, right now with this amount, the blending issue is not here anymore, but with 1, you can see the seam and the line here, okay, like this. So let's keep it like this one. And what about this spot removal? It's going to detect any kind of small point on the blending area and remove them. So you couldn't see anything like small dots and white spot on the edges. So this feature can help a lot to remove those kind of error on the blending area. And the next option is color equalizer, which means you can make everything just in a solid color, or you can put that in a natural way. Okay, but this parameter can be tricky and it depends on the texture that you try to make tile or seamless. So play with this value and be careful. This value is going to affect on the base color directly. So you should check the value of the color in the base color channel directly to define which value here is the best. Okay, for example, here I think this value is great for me. Okay, let's go back to the 3D only and done. It's quite good and we couldn't see any kind of seam error here. And that's it. So it's totally fast and quite good. So you can rely on this make it tile filter in Substance Sampler to mark your texture as a seamless or tile level one. So let's go to the next part. We are going to talk about how to make this tiling process inside the painter. Okay, now we are in Substance Painter and I just add a plane to the project as a main model. Okay, and let's create a fill layer. So in this fill layer, let's rename it to the base, and I need to have color, height, roughness, normal, and ambient occlusion. And if you don't have any ambient occlusion input here, you need to go to the texture set setting in the channels, just add the ambient occlusion from this plus sign. Okay, so right now, let me just bring all the textures to the layer, and that's it. As you can see, we have all the information from the textures in layer stack. Okay, so the overall tiling is 1, and for removing seam, we need to offset the texture in X and Y axis. Okay, so let's put 0.5 in the offset mode, and right now we can see all the seams that we have here. Okay, so how we are going to solve this issue? We are going to use the clone option in the Substance Painter, and for accessing to this clone, we need to add a paint layer. I'm going to rename it to the clone. That's okay. And if I choose the clone and press V on the keyboard and select the source, so if you look, you can see a small square that defines our source target. So we just grab the information from this spot and we can paint it on another spot. Okay, that's it. But right now, if I paint here, I couldn't see anything. And the reason of this is we don't access to the information from the base layer right now. And how we can access to this information? By changing this blending mode from normal to pass through. So if I change the base color blending mode from normal to pass through, it means I have this access to the information to change, okay, like this. But the issue is we just changed the blending mode from normal to pass through just only for base color. And it means we just access to the base color information. If I go to the base color channel, as you can see, I can remove or just repaint from the source that I define here like this, okay? But in other channels, there is no change. And this pass-through blending mode is responsible for this thing. And how we can add this pass-through to all channel? We just right-click and apply to all channel. So as you can see, we just change everything. So I can remove all the issue related to the seam with this clone pad. So every time that you want to change the source, you just need to press V on the keyboard and click on the place that you want, and just you can paint it. Okay, that's it. So I'm going to erase everything like this, and let's go back. The clone with relative source, and the difference between clone as a relative source and clone as an absolute source, it's super simple. So in relative source, if I define, okay, I want to put source target here, as you can see. When I start painting, okay, I'm going to paint this detail here, right? But when I move my mouse, the source is going to move with mouse position or brush position, okay? So if I change it to the clone with absolute source, it means this source is not going to be changed in the beginning of the painting, and all the painting is going to start from the same position. So this is the difference between these two, and it depends on your need and your workflow to use which one, okay? So let me just erase again. So for example, let's start to solve this issue here. Let me just increase my brush stroke, pick the source, and I'm going to paint here, this, okay? So you can reshape the texture in this way and just solve the issue related to the seam, and even you can use this technique to resolve other things. For example, you want to break up this pure white stone effect, right? So let me just put my source here, and I'm going to start to paint this. Okay, so I just paint from this location to this one to, for example, break up this pure white stone covering, okay? And I'm going to pause the video and paint on all these seams here, and after that we can see what we have at the end. Okay, right now I just finished my painting on the seams, and this is the result after painting on the seams, and this result is more accurate compared to keeping the shapes, keeping the details, and the overall texture structure. And as you can see, it applied on all channels. It means you don't have any kind of issue on the normal, height, roughness, or for example, ambient occlusion. So what is the next step? If you remember, we just use offset here to just push our text to the middle, and with this way we can see the seams, okay? And now we need to revert this effect, and it's your call. You can keep it like this or you can revert it. So for reverting to the first position, we couldn't come back to the layer of the brick, for example, and just remove the offset value. We need to come to the clone, add an anchor point here, just create a new fill layer and change the blending mode for all channels from whatever it is to the normal, okay? And we need color, height, roughness, normal, and AO. It means after turning all the channel and change the blending mode to the normal for all channel, you just see the white plane here, okay? And in the material mode, I'm going to load the anchor point of the clone, and in the offset, I just put 0.5, 0.5 to make everything like it was, okay? And right now we can export this texture set from Substance Painter and use it in any software that we want without worry about the seams or any kind of other problem, because we solved that in the Painter. And the good news is you can use this technique not just only for tileable textures. You can use it on your models when you face with seam on the surface and the UV borders, okay? So this technique is super useful when you face with UV seams or any kind of texture seams on the texturing part. I hope you liked this video, and this is the end of the video, so please do not forget to hit the like button if you like or learn anything new in this video. Share this video with your friends and share your mind in the comment section, and subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and stay tuned. Be creative, be safe, bye.